Have you ever found yourself facing the seemingly impenetrable fortress when trying to connect with a fearful avoidant attachment style? It's time to uncover the key to actually breaking down the fearful avoidant attachment style's big walls when it comes to love and relationships. So you can not only get them to really be vulnerable and show their true selves, but also so that you can truly build trust in this relationship. In today's video, we are going to cover exactly that: how to get a fearful avoidant attachment style to open up, to be a little more vulnerable, less guarded, and to really get them to build trust with you. If you are the fearful avoidant attachment style listening to this video today, it's a great video for you to really dig into understanding what allows you to feel safe in relationships and allows you to really build trust. Also, if you're new to this channel, hello and welcome. My name is Thais, and I'm the founder of the Personal Development School. I ran about a 10 years or so very busy client-based practice, actually helping individuals to reprogram their attachment style and heal to become securely attached before putting a whole bunch of different courses through the Personal Development School online, and of course, through this YouTube channel here today. So if you don't want to miss any daily content, please hit the like, share, and subscribe button, and even the notification bell so you don't miss any. Now, in today's video, I'm actually going to take you through a bit of an exercise where we can go through together what it takes to more deeply understand a fearful avoidant attachment style and what's really going on for them. So you're going to see this right here, and I've actually outlined this for the video. So when it comes to getting a fearful avoidant attachment style to let down their guard and to let you in and to allow them to trust you, first thing you want to understand is that the fearful avoidant attachment style is the hot and cold partner in relationships. And their attachment style actually comes from experiencing a lot of chaos that forced them to walk on eggshells in childhood. Essentially, you can imagine that somebody might have had a parent or caregiver or potentially a set of caregivers who struggled with their relationship to alcohol. Some days they were warm and loving, some days they were cold, drank too much, perhaps angry. Some days they were going through withdrawals and were unpredictable. And that would be one example of a context in which fearful avoidant attachment style would develop. It's like you never know what you're going to get. It doesn't really allow this person to form what we could call an attachment strategy, the ability to actually figure out how we can attach and what we can come to expect from and rely on when it comes to a caregiver. Other examples can include things like a lot of fighting growing up with a parent or parents with cluster B personality disorders, anything that's essentially causing a lot of unpredictability and chaos between child and their parent. Now, when it comes to what results of this is we have an individual who grows up as an adult to essentially have this deep conditioned assumption that I will be betrayed. Now, there are other core wounds that comes with this, things like fearing abandonment. They tend to have the anxious side of a relationship where they fear abandonment, exclusion, being alone, but they also fear the avoidance side of the relationship, being trapped, helpless, powerless in the wrong relationship dynamic. But all of these things tend to be secondary to this big core wound: I will be betrayed. Now, some big symptoms of somebody having fearful avoidant attachment style and this core wound are things like this person constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop, expressing a lot of suspicion in relationships, or being very hypervigilant, always reading between the lines about everything. You may also see that this person jumps the gun, jumps to conclusions a lot. And essentially, it's because this became a survival strategy in childhood to navigate an unpredictable environment. Now, what do we do about this? How can we actually make sure that somebody wants to build trust in a relationship? And how can we make sure that we are, showing up in a way that it allows this person to feel safe enough to really let their guard down if we know that they have a potential to be very guarded and hypervigilant? Well, it really boils down to the four C's of trust. Okay. Trust is based on four major ingredients. And these four C's will actually essentially equilibrate or nullify, go against this core belief of I will be betrayed. So, what are these four C's of trust and what are some examples? Well, number one is consistency. If you are consistent with somebody, if you show up in a consistent way in your manner, in your actions, If you are somebody who follows through, that element of consistency, like if you're showing up and you text daily or you phone call, a couple times a week, they tend to start to, not consciously, but subconsciously, right? They don't consciously think about, oh, this person's consistent, so I'm going to let my guard down. But consistency is a big sign that somebody is trustworthy. And so over time, we will start to see a fearful avoidant attachment style let down their guard. And I can't underestimate these things enough. Like, I can't overestimate these things enough. These are really important things. And I find that these things are usually underestimated by the fearful avoidant themselves. They don't realize how impactful it is to have a partner who's like this in terms of being able to maintain a healthy relationship. Second C of trust is congruency. What congruency really means is that what somebody does and what they say line up. If I say on a regular basis to you that I am going to be there for our date, and then on a regular basis, I don't show up to the date, even if you think I'm a kind person, you're not going to trust that I'm showing up to any dates, okay? Because what I say and what I do did not line up. This often is a big theme in the childhood of a fearful avoidant, where parents may say, we love you, but then they don't actually show up in a loving way at times when dealing with their own trauma, right? Or parents may say, we're going to protect you at all costs, but then you're thrown into the middle of maybe a really emotionally or even, volatile or physically unsafe situation. So congruency is a big way to repair this. Okay. I will share a bonus tip at the end of this for fearful avoidant themselves if you're listening. Number three is consideration. When you express consideration for fearful avoidance feelings, when you say, hey, are you good with that? Is that comfortable for you? I want to do this. How do you feel about that? The more you're doing that and you're being considerate of their feelings, the more, again, they will come to let their guard down and they will learn to trust you. And number four, we have context. Okay. Sometimes I refer to this as transparency. But essentially, context means that if I do something that changes, if there's a change in the pattern all of a sudden, and this is a huge one for fearful avoidance, if I'm usually there and I'm usually consistent at speaking with you, and now all of a sudden I go missing for a day, the next time I speak to you, I have to tell you why. Okay. And this doesn't mean like we should be reporting to somebody 24/7 where we are, what we're doing. But an example of this would just be, or if I cancel plans on at the last minute, right? That I don't just say, hey, I can't make it. Sorry. I say, hey, I can't make it. And it's because I'm under the weather. It's because something urgent came up with a friend, like, whatever it might be, I give context. I tell you the why behind things. I just wanted to jump in and share something exciting. We are actually, for the first time ever, running a promotion for 60% off of your first month at the Personal Development School. And this gives you access to all of our courses, including all of the courses about different attachment styles and how to navigate those relationships together. So, for example, a fearful avoidant with a dismissive avoidant, how to really work through that relationship, all the different challenges, how to show up. We also have courses on boundaries, communication, healing your attachment style to becoming secure. So many different courses in there. But on top of that, I'm in there 3 days a week doing live webinars. So you can come in, ask me any questions that you have at any time, and I will be there to support you. And I'd love to chat with you. And we actually have trained coaches and facilitators who are in there all other days of the week except for Sunday. And there are community support events through them. There are webinars with them, smaller classes. So you have so much extra support in really integrating all of the materials and work in there. And I will say, as excited I am about the YouTube videos that we get to put out every single day, just because of the length of the courses and content, they're so much better than our YouTube content because you can go into so much more depth. There's workbooks, worksheets, and tons of support. So if you want to check it out and actually get 60% off of your first month for only $39 at the Personal Development School, I will put a link to access that down below. This allows a fearful avoidant to not jump to worst case scenario conclusions and take these things personally. Now, here's a really important bonus tip. If you are the fearful avoidant listening, fearful avoidance must give these things in the relationship to themselves to repair self trust. You may be surprised as a fearful avoidant at just how much you're not trusting yourself, but the more you can be considerate of your own feelings, needs, and boundaries, the more you can give yourself context and understanding into your behavior. Oh, I got angry because I realized I have this trigger or I have this wound. And the more you can be congruent, what you say you're going to do, I'm going to sleep 8 hours. I'm going to take care of my sleep. You actually follow through and show up. And the more you can be consistent in your own life and decisions, the more you are repairing self trust. And I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you have more questions about this, please let me know in the comments. And also, if you have anything in particular that you want to share in terms of a question, I sometimes pull questions from the comments to make an Ask Tighties version of YouTube videos. Last but not least, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you're enjoying these videos, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.